What is going on? What is going on, guys? We are gonna do our weekly picks for week 4, and like we always do, it's gonna be based on the rig. It's gonna be based on what Vegas would want. And in this case, we're gonna go over the Thursday night game between the Bengals and the Dolphins, and looks like the Bengals are favored to win by more than 3.5 points. Let's see. Money line, -213. And then the favorites to win. Dolphins plus 160 underdogs to win. Yeah. This is one of those games. If you think about it, the Bengals, I mean, if this is based on last year, okay, you got me. The Bengals should be favored. But based on this year, the only way the Bengals could be favored here is if Tua isn't playing. If Tua isn't playing, then it still becomes an interesting pick because Vegas goes for the team that you're not expecting to win, especially on Sundays. Thursdays and primetime games, it's harder for them to rig it as much because of all the eyes. So it's going to be harder. It's going to be more competitive on a Thursday night game, a Monday night game. It's going to be, well, I shouldn't say more competitive. It's going to be less hectic, less crazy. It's not going to be like the stuff we see on Sundays in the witching hour. It's not going to be like that. We're going to see some rigged plays, but it's not going to be as bad, as egregious. So with this game, if the Bengals are at home, if Tua is playing, I still in real football, I pick the Dolphins. If it's real football, I pick the Dolphins. But this is rigged football. It's not real. So, and the Bengals are favored. Uh, I would go Dolphins in this. I would take the underdog in this for sure. So I would take the Dolphins over the Bengals for the Thursday night game. I'm just writing this down, guys. Just bear with me. So yeah, I don't think the Bengals are gonna beat them by a field goal or more. Well, it's gonna have to be a touchdown. Well, not really, because they can beat them by 4 points. But I just don't see it. I don't know if they're gonna do that because look at what Miami did to the Bills. Even though the Bills, let's face it, the Bills should have beat them. The Bills were missing a lot of guys. Like we know the Bills are winning the next time they play, rig or no rig. But yeah, even so, the Bengals they have a lot of offensive line issues. I don't know how they rectify that. The only way they let them win is if they let the Dolphins go out and just lay an egg and just not do what they're supposed to do. But either way, I picked the Dolphins in this one. Everyone else is going to pick the Bengals. They went to the Super Bowl last year, so people are high on them, but I picked the Dolphins. It's kind of crazy how that they're underdogs this week. I can't believe that. All right, let's go to Saints Vikings London game. This is going to be an NFL game. I don't think it's prime time because it's early in the morning. So Kirk Cousins usually does well when there aren't a lot of eyes on him. So I don't know how many people are going to be watching this 9:30 a.m. game. And the Saints aren't rated very well this year. What are they? 1-2. So Vikings are favored to win by 3 or more. So Vikings 3 or more. Do I like that? Let me think, guys. I'm just trying to think to myself. The Vikings over the Saints. They can. I mean, the Vikings definitely can beat them, but are they gonna beat them by 3 or more in London? I think this is also a trap game. I think the Saints win this one, guys. You can't trust Vegas. You just cannot. You cannot trust Vegas. But the other thing you got to be careful of, guys, they could say Sunday comes along. They can say, oh, we want the Saints to win this game. But guess what, guys? Based on how the money is coming in and the bets are coming in, Vegas can call them and change everything and say, you know what? No, we want the Vikings to win. So it's a risk, guys. It's a risk. You know, we all lose sometimes, but then again, we all win sometimes. So that's just what comes with gambling. We're just trying to go around the back and try to pick the minds of Vegas. So I would probably go the underdogs here, the Saints in London. They just lost this week. The Saints did. They took a loss they should have really had. The Vikings, they also laid an egg, but I don't know. I just don't see the Vikings winning this game. Kirk Cousins doesn't play well in prime time, and they're going to London. I just don't know. But then again, the Saints, they're also going to be missing some guys. Is Alvin Kamara going to be there? If Alvin Kamara's there, I think I trust them still. I'm sticking with the Saints as the underdogs for that one. So yeah, we're gonna go Saints on that spread. I like that one because you're banking on Kirk Cousins not laying an egg. He can either lay an egg or he can light it up, and then you still got to depend on that defense. So, all right, now let's go to the Browns Falcons. The Browns are favored to win by more than 1.5 points over the Falcons. I'm probably gonna take the Falcons in this game, guys. Because no one else is going to take the Falcons. Everyone's going to take the Browns because of that defense, because of what they have done. They're a decent team, but their quarterback still isn't there. Jacoby Brissett's all right. But when you look at the Falcons, Mariota has been lighting it up. Like, he's been having a really good year. It's just that his team and the rig, everything combined, it just doesn't come into fruition. So it's tough to fight against the rig and be a good quarterback. You're kind of in a dilemma. So it's really hard, and you can see it in some of these guys' eyes. Sometimes that you can tell when they're throwing these games, it's really getting to them. But in this case, Browns, Falcons, $100. See, you win $100 if you bet Falcons, guys. That's huge. That's why you bet the underdogs. It's a huge payout, and they win a lot, especially in games you wouldn't expect. Last week, the Colts. You know how much money people won last week? If you listened to me last week, you made some money. I promise you that, especially with that Colts game. But anyway, I'm going Falcons, guys. Browns, Falcons. I gotta go Falcons. Browns, Falcons. Wait, so Falcons, they have to clear 1.5, right? Actually, I'm just going to put, sorry, guys, I'm just writing notes as I go along. I need to go back up for a second because I'm writing down the odds next to the opposite team or the team that's favored to win, just so I know. So the Vikings are favored -3. And then -3.5. Bengals. All right, let's go to the next game now. So Commanders versus the Cowboys. The Cowboys are favored to win by 3.5 points. I'm taking the Commanders, guys, because right now Cooper Rush is rolling, so everybody's on that Cooper Rush train, and they think that this guy is the next second coming of Joe Montana. Tony Joe Montana. But you and I both know that is not the case. He's going to hit a wall, and that wall is the Commanders' defense, who is led by a defensive coach and Hall of Famer Ron Rivera himself, and a Carson Wentz who has a lot to prove and knows this Cowboys team very well. He was with the Eagles, so he played them twice a year for years. So he knows this team. They got some weapons. I just don't see the Cowboys beating them by 4 points or more. I just don't. I don't see it. They're at the Cowboys. The Cowboys don't always play well at home. I'm going to take the Commanders, guys. And you guys already know, Commanders, I picked them to go to the playoffs, so I got to ride with that. Let's see here. So, yeah, we take the Commanders here. But the Cowboys are the 3.5 overdog, we call them. Alright. Next game. We've got Seahawks Lions. Seahawks Lions. In this case, Seahawks Lions. Lions are favored by 4.5, and they're at home. I can actually see that happening. Guys. The way the Lions defense has been playing and their offense, I can see that. But at the same time, let's think about this. The Seahawks, I don't know if the Lions are going to beat them by 5 or more, though. So at the same time, the Seahawks might cover the spread. It's very possible the Seahawks might cover the spread, guys. The Lions have to win by 5 points. I don't know if I think they're gonna beat them. I do think the Lions will beat the Seahawks, but are they going to beat them by 4.5 points? That's a tall order. I'm just trying to think here because the Seahawks, they're a tricky team. Like, they can get streaky, but then they can also lay an egg. Lions, Seahawks. I think we're going to take the Lions. We're going to bet on that one. I think the Lions are capable of doing it. It's going to be tough, but I think they're capable of getting that spread. Not a lot of people are going to bet on this game, guys. But hold on, let me think for one more second. Because the Lions, they have been making noise. They gave Carson Wentz some trouble. I don't remember if they cleared that spread that game. But they have the capabilities of putting up points, guys. Seahawks. And so do the Seahawks. But at the same time, they can also stink up the joint, and both teams can. I'm going to go with the Lions. I think the Lions can clear this. It's a tall order, though. 4.5 is a tall order for a team like that. Because it's not like we're talking about the Tom Brady-led New England Patriots here. All right, now we got the Titans Colts. This is going to be a tough game to call. I would stay away from this game 100%. This is going to be a stinker. It's going to be hard to tell which way the NFL will go here because both teams aren't good. The Colts are favored 3.5. Since they're favored, I'll take the Titans in this, guys. If you really wanted to bet this game, I don't think the Colts are going to beat them 3.5. And the thing is, guys, this is a trap game. Let me tell you why. Because they beat the Chiefs, okay? So that sets up the whole thinking of, oh, they beat the Chiefs, so that means they can go right through the Titans, right? Yeah, but the only problem is, based on that tape we watched, that was a faulty, phony game. All those made-up turnovers just so they would just have an easy touchdown. Like, that's not going to work out this game. So I would take the Titans, guys. Now that I think about how last week played out, you got to think about that too. The weeks prior and things that happened prior, that makes a difference. So that changes things. Titans, Colts, so the Colts are favored 3.5. So we were going to take the Titans, though. The Titans are not a good team. They shouldn't be better than the Colts, but they're capable of beating them. They beat the Raiders. So that shows people that they're capable of winning, even though the Raiders kind of threw that one as well. The Colts really haven't moved the ball. They beat the Chiefs, but they didn't move the ball. They had turnovers handed to them, giving them points. So that's that. Next game, Bears, Giants. Giants are favored by 3. Montgomery is out on the Bears. The only reason I know that is because he's one of my fantasy backs in one of my leagues. But then again, they're playing a defensive-minded team, and they're also, Dable is known as an offensive coach that knows defense as well. Giants favored by 3 points. Would I pick that? Giants favored by 3. I don't know if I would pick that. I don't think the Giants would beat the Bears by 3. We saw them against the Cowboys. And I think the Bears' quarterback situation, at the very least, is better than the Cowboys. And their running game situation, honestly. Defense, that's a whole other thing. They're at the Giants. I think everyone thinks the Giants are going to win. So I'm going to pick the Bears here. Bears versus Giants. Giants favored by 3. So yeah, we're going to pick the Bears. All right, next pick, Jags, Eagles. All right, now this game right here, this is a trap game and a half. This is like, whoa, you just walking down the street and someone pulls the trap door and you fall through. This is what that is. The Jaguars can easily come down to Eagles Stadium and just take this away from them, guys. This team just took it to the Chargers. I mean, took it to them like it was easy. Their defense was flying. They were making stops. They were doing whatever they wanted, guys. This is not the same Jaguars team. And it also seems as if the NFL wants us to realize their reckoning. So, in that case, back to the subject, everyone is going to be looking for the Eagles to take this win, guys. Everyone. I mean, everyone is going to be looking at the Eagles to win. Not me. I think the the Eagles need to win by 7 points. I don't think that's going to happen, guys. I think the Jaguars will cover and they might even win. Guys, the Jaguars, this is not the same Jaguars team. Like, I know the Eagles are doing well, they're doing their thing, but this is not the same Jaguars team. And the Eagles, they haven't really played that good a team. The Commanders, you can say they're good, but that team, the Commanders, they haven't really found their identity yet. Wait till like week 12, the Commanders will be looking really good. But right now, I think I don't know that the Jaguars are better than the Eagles. I don't know who's better than who this early in the year. By week 10, I'll have a good idea. By week 10, 12, I'll have a great idea about who's what. But right now, we don't know who's better than who. Literally any given Sunday this year. And if you're thinking like it's 1998, you're going to lose. It's 2022 and it's different. They're going to let anybody win these games, guys. And in this case, I think the Jags are going to win because they're coming off a big-time win. I think they're going to do just fine. Because think about it, man. They have the corners. They paid J.C. Jackson, right? And they have the other guy on the other side. So they got the corners. They got the pass rushers. You know, they got the offense. So, why can't they beat them? I know the Eagles have a stout defense. Their defense is very good. I know that. And their offense, they've got Jalen and they've got Miles Sanders, right? They've got the second-year receiver from Alabama, I forget his name, Devontae Smith. And A.J. Brown, right? Dallas Goedert. They got some playmakers there. Like, it's a high-powered offense. But people are sleeping on the Jaguars and their capabilities, guys. This is not the same Jags team. I could be wrong here, but you guys know me, I ride with my picks. Like, when I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But I think the Jags are going to be just fine. They'll cover this spread and possibly win, in my opinion. Especially because of all the money that's going to be on this game. You know how many people are going to put their money on the Eagles? Because people are thinking, oh yeah, the Jags are a fluke. But if you watch the tape, like I have been, the Jags can play. Trevor Lawrence is progressing. He's going to be a really good quarterback. Like, Doug Peterson, you got to remember, Doug Peterson was a quarterback in the NFL. He knows how to coach quarterbacks. Look at his past. Look at who he worked with. Think of all the guys. I'm not going to go down the list, but his last stop we won the championship, right, the Super Bowl. He fixed both those guys up, and they had great years. And when he leaves, they almost fall off a cliff. So it's like, you got to think of all these things. So that's why I go with the Jags. I think the Jags will win. All right. Jets, Steelers. Steelers are a -3, so that means they're favored by 3 or more. With if Kenny Pickett was starting, I'd say yeah, but Zach Wilson is coming back this week for the Jets, and I think he might be able to light it up, and I think he's going to light it up. He's gonna win Vegas some money this week, guys. He's just gonna have fresh legs. He's gonna be pinting to make plays. I think the Jets can win this game and cover that spread. I don't know that the Steelers are gonna beat them. Because think about it, the Jets beat the Browns and the Browns beat the Steelers. So the Jets can easily beat, not easily, but they can beat the Steelers, guys, and cover that spread. I would pick the Jets on this one, guys. Like a lot of these games are trap games. They're for you to pick these games like, oh, the Steelers, yeah. If these were the old times, if this was back in like 95 or like whatever, even 10 years ago, it would be way easier to be like, oh yeah, the Steelers got this one. But it's a different NFL. All right, now we got the Bills Ravens, guys. Bills are favored by 3. Huh. This is going to be a good game. Bills are favored by 3 or more. Let's think about this. Dolphins beat the Bills, right? They beat the Bills. The Dolphins did, but the Dolphins beat the Ravens, right? By 3. And the Dolphins beat the Bills by 2, right? So what does that mean? It means nothing because the NFL is rigged. But it also means that these teams are evenly matched. It's going to come down to what Vegas wants. So this is where I guess I have to earn my money, right, so to speak, in picking these games. So, let's think about this. The Bills are favored, Ravens underdogs, but you win a decent amount. So you win 130 if you bet Ravens, right? Huh. The Ravens can they're going to be at home, the Ravens are going to be. The Bills are going to be traveling. The Bills just lost an away game. Josh Allen's going to be trying to win this game. I think the Ravens are going to win their division. I know I said the Bengals were going to, but I think the Ravens are going to probably win that division. And I also think that they're going to win this game and cover that spread. I just don't see the Bills beating them by 4 or more. I just don't see it. Like, how do you justify that? Huh. Bills, Ravens. I'm going to go Ravens. I'm going Ravens. Chargers, Texans. Everyone's going to go Chargers here. And they're at the Texans. They're coming off of a bad loss to the Jags. But they're favored by 6 points. Well, 5.5, but obviously I just call it 6 because how are you going to score 5.5 points? Can the Chargers beat the Texans by 6? They can any given Sunday, but will they? The Texans, as we can see, they're a different team. If we're going by the game, I think the Chargers would beat them. But if we're going by the spread, I don't know if they're going to cover that spread, guys. These are one of those games where it's like they might beat them like 21-17 or 23-20 type thing. If you do that and you pick the Chargers, you lose. Like, you don't want to lose money. They win the game, but you lose the bet. You know what I mean? So I feel like the Texans might be a safe pick just because of that spread. 6 points after that stinker. I'm just trying to think. Especially the way that they run their offense. It's not even like they're running their offense like the Kansas City Chiefs. the way they run their offense, it's so rhythmic and it doesn't really like. There's no like sequence to it. There's no flow to it. It's so choppy. Like I just don't know how that ends up working out. Uh, Texans, Chargers. Let's think here. Chargers by 6. The Texans, coached by Lovie Smith, the way they're coached, I don't see them just getting routed. Like I just don't, and like the Texans aren't as bad as people think. Like they're actually a well coached team this year. That's really a lot of teams. That's all they need. They just need a good coach to just get them in line because every team has capable players. You just need a guy that can bring all the guys together and make them do the right thing. So, Chargers at the Texans. They're gonna be in a dome. That means Chargers, Texans. Chargers let people down all season so far. I think they're gonna let people down again. Chargers. I'm gonna pick the Texans to cover the spread. It's just a high spread, 5.5. Like I just don't know. That's just too much to bet on for something that hasn't been looking too impressive. They can easily win by 14, but like I just don't know. A lot of these games been close. Cardinals, Panthers. Panthers are favored by 1. I'm gonna pick the Cardinals, guys. Cardinals versus Panthers. They're only favored by 2 points. The Panthers. Yeah, you. Got to go Cardinals here. I think you have to go Cardinals here. I don't think there's any way you can go. And either way, if you were picking the game straight out, the Cardinals are a better team. Like, if you look at every position, all right, they might have a running back, but not by much. John Connor ain't no slouch. You know, I know CMC is a beast. Christian McCaffrey. They got a couple decent receivers, right? DJ Moore and then Robbie Anderson or whatever. I mean, they can make things happen. But the Cardinals, they got AJ Green. I don't know when Hopkins is coming back. It would be nice if it were this week. Probably not. They got that tight end from the Philadelphia Eagles. What's his name? I forget his name. Ertz or whatever. Cardinals, they got some things. They got some pieces. And the rig always goes for Kyler Murray. Like, Kyler Murray is that dude. So the NFL is going to back him. The NFL hates Baker Mayfield. So right now they're giving him the point line, but they're going to lose. I don't pick the Panthers ever. Patriots, Packers. Sounds like Mac Jones is going to be playing this game. Packers are a 11-point favorite. Nah, they're not going to clear that, guys. Don't be fooled by this, guys. Patriots versus Packers. Yeah, so with this, I would definitely say Patriots will cover that spread. The Packers are not going to beat them by 11 points, guys. That's just not going to happen. So if you're going based on just pick 'em, the Packers will win. If you're going based on the spread, the Patriots are going to clear that spread. There's no way Bill Belichick is going to let that happen. It's just not going to happen. And this is to scare people because people are like, oh no, Josh, or whatever his name is, that quarterback. Why can't I think of his name? The Patriots quarterback. If they say that he's out for the game, that's going to make a frenzy of people to bet against them. But word is, Mac Jones is his name. He's going to be playing. So if he does play, it's going to be a better game than most people think. And the Packers, they've been struggling on offense, guys. Let's face it. They scored 14 points last week, and they haven't really been scoring much of anything before that. So I don't see how Vegas thinks they're going to be scoring all these points. It's possible, but is it probable? There's nothing to show that it is probable. Not yet, anyway. It's possible, though. Broncos, Raiders. Raiders are a 2.5 favorite. I would probably take that line. And the only reason is because they need a win, like badly. Like the Raiders cannot afford to lose another game. So basically, if they lose this game, the Raiders are done for the season. And then I'm gonna have to put a new playoff team in that spot for them. But really, I would have to hold that off till week 10 because they still could win out. I'm just being pessimistic when I say that. Really, they could go up until like 0-6, and then they have to like run the tables. Like any team that goes 0-6, you would have to run the tables from then on in to have a chance. But if you're 0-4 as the Raiders, you lose this game. 0-4 is really, really hard to dig yourself out of. But there still would be in it, believe it or not, because it's a long season. They can get fired and turn out 4-4. If you start 0-4 and then you go 4-4, it's a brand new season. You know what I mean? But if you start 0-4 and then lose it the next four and you're 0-8, the season's over. So I think the Raiders win this, and I think they're gonna make that division really tight. I don't think they're gonna have anyone just be like 14 wins, 15 wins. It's gonna be a bunch of guys that are like 9, 10 wins, 11 wins. That's what it's gonna be. It's gonna be very competitive. So in that case, I think the Raiders clear that. I think they can win by 3. It's very possible, but at the same time, that Broncos defense is crazy. Their defense is crazy. Their offense is just not, we'll say to be nice. And that's probably the reason why the Raiders probably clear that. So I would take the Raiders on that line, guys. But as far as winning the game, yeah, I could see the Raiders winning. But I could also see the Broncos losing or winning as well. So, but either way, I'm gonna stick with the Raiders in this one, just because they're home. And just because they need a win. They need to win this game. It's a must win. Chiefs, Buccaneers. Chiefs are favored by 1.5. Both teams lost last week. I think the Chiefs are going to lose. And I don't think they're going to clear that line. I think that whole division is going to lose tomorrow. It's not looking like a good day for that entire division, except for the Raiders, because they're playing someone in that division. And that's the lo and behold team that needs to win. So I think literally everyone in that division, except for the Raiders, are going to win on Sunday. So, whoops, I can't spell it right now. So Chiefs versus Bucks. Yeah, Brady Magic. So this is going to be Brady's game for sure. I would definitely say Brady is going to win this one. And the Chiefs, there's no way they're clearing that. The Chiefs would have to win by 2. I don't think the Chiefs are going to win. I think the Bucks are the underdog winners. And that's a Super Bowl rematch. But at the same time, oh, that's a night game. That is a night game. That's a Sunday night game, guys. I might actually have to retract that because Sunday night games play out differently than the day games. They don't play the same at all. It's very possible that Mahomes wins this. I think Buccaneers, I think Tom Brady's receivers are all out. And that's the way the NFL justifies. I got to think about this one for a second. Hold on, let's check something real quick while we're here. Let's open up Google real quick. I want to see something. Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Oh, why didn't it go all the way? Injury report. Let's see if there's any designations. So Tom, Gage, Godwin. Unspecified. Julio Jones, too. All right, so if Julio is out, Godwin, Russell Gage, if they're all out, then I'm out on them. You got me. Like, if they're all out, you got me. But hold on. The Chiefs, they might be missing some guys too. Hardman, Ronald, Chris Jones, Scantling, Schuster, they're missing some guys too, guys. So hold on a minute. Wait a minute. If that's the case, if they're both missing their wideouts and it's just naked on naked, I'm still gonna pick the Bucks. Then I think Brady wins that one. So yeah, we'll stay with the Bucks. So there it is. All right. So Monday's game, the last game, and this will conclude our picks for this week, week 4. Rams, Niners. Niners are a 1.5 dog. Huh. They're at the Niners. Niners just lost. Rams just won. Rams, they haven't been looking too great. The Niners, they kind of own the Rams in the regular season. It's the playoffs. It's the playoffs where the Rams end up getting the Niners. It's almost like the Rams say, here, beat us now so you can't beat us later. Niners are up 1.5. I can see that, actually. I'm not saying the Rams are a worse team or the Niners are better or vice versa. It's too early to say. But what I am saying is I could see that line. But at the same time, I can see the Rams winning too. But the problem is they don't have a running game. Rams, Niners. Are the Rams going to win by 2 points? I don't know about that. But Jimmy Garoppolo does know that team. But the Rams, they know him as well. I'm going to go Rams here, guys. I'll take the Rams. Even though the Niners are 1.5 dog. So that will conclude my picks, guys. I hope you enjoyed, and let me know how you guys do with your picks this week.